Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 11. So, an eventful week, right? Or weekend, I should say. We had the Lakers. Y'all know! Y'all know West Coast is the best coast food. Lakers brought it on home to its rightful destination, world champions. Okay, we haven't had this place in 10 years, and I was watching, my nerves was bad while I was watching the group of people down there at the Staples Center yesterday after the game, and I was just like, ooh, Rona, Rona, Rona. I'm glad I wasn't there, because I might have tried to go down there, and be in the mix to all of that, and, not thinking about what would be healthy for me. But anyway, you guys, yeah, very, very happy for the Lakers. Man, long time coming. It has been so long, and it's just so sad that Kobe's not here to enjoy it, man. It just breaks my heart. Oh, my God. But anyway, congratulations to the Lakers. We also had Miss Cynthia Bailey and hashtag chill. They had their wedding, 250 guests. Rona, Rona, Rona. I'm just like, I know Atlanta's open and we doing things like pre-COVID and everything. And I'm sure people try to be, tested ahead of time and say they was cool and all. But, that is a lot of people. All I'm going to say is this. I hope that nobody from Bravo catches the Rona, because people are going to be watching, okay? And I'm not just talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, because they have people there from all of the Bravo shows. Potentially, Rona could come through there and, knock out their whole lineup. It was a lot of people there. And I just was like, wow. I knew a few people that went, followed quite a few people that went. And I was just like, well, I guess we'll see in 2 weeks if that was a super spreader event. I surely hope not. She looked beautiful. He looked happy. His suit was young. Okay, it was a medium. I was like, I'm going to need him to just get the next size. Just the next. But they looked happy and they looked nice, and good for Cynthia. People were like, is she pregnant? She's 50 fucking 2. No, she's not pregnant. That's called grown woman. Okay? We got ass. We got hips. We might have a pouch. Just because you have a dress that cinches shit in, that fat still got to go somewhere. Okay? So, it's there. Like, it looks fine. Cushion for the pushing. I be trying to tell y'all. Anyway, you guys. This show was a filler. So, it was whatever. I'm tired of talking about this fight, because we going to talk about it every week now until we get to episode 20. I'm over it. But, it is a big deal. Anyway, you guys, let's just get to the review, shall we? Let's start with the things that don't matter. Wendy, okay? You know what I mean. It ain't pertinent to nothing else that's going on. She meets with her sister. They're having lunch because she's trying to tell her sister how she's not really feeling going back to being a professor at Johns Hopkins. Okay, her sister is also very successful. She is a doctor as well. She's a surgeon, I believe she said she was. So very accomplished, and, they can thank their mother for that. Their mother made sure that they stayed on the straight and narrow to become not one doctor, but 2, okay? So 2 doctors in the house. She's afraid to tell her mother that she doesn't want to go back to Johns Hopkins. And the sister says, yeah, well, you should be afraid. Okay, I know what. Let's just act like I'm mom, and you tell me, why you don't want to come back. They do a little role playing. But, I'm not really familiar. Like, you always hear that that's like the running joke when you hear about, African families, the culture, and how there's so much pressure. Obviously, it is very real. I didn't know that it was to this extent. But more and more, as more and more Africans become, successful actors and comedians and, a reality show stars over here in America, we now starting to really, really hear about the pressure that's put on their kids. She's grown, I guess maybe it won't be for me to understand because I'm not from that culture, but I'm just thinking like, you are still going to be able to provide for yourself. You are now going to be on a TV show. Maybe, your mom just, because when I think about her, I think about Yvonne Orji, and she was talking about how her mom really had a problem until she became the successful actress, and now her mom is cool. So maybe the mom will be, but you know, actress is different than reality show. So I don't know if mama gonna be okay with this, but you know, the sister said, you're gonna be fine, you know. Basically, you're gonna have to deal with mom, and then I guess you're gonna have to live your life. So, but do I have any African rock stars out there who can, you know, really just shine a little light on this situation? Because I guess it's, I mean, from what they say, it is for real pressure. All right, you guys, let's jump over to Karen. So we see Karen. She makes a call to Ashley.
Hello, Ashley. I would like to invite you to Surrey County.
Surrey County is where she grew up. And she's going back because she's going to be a part of the homecoming parade. Ashley would love to go. She said, yeah, a long time ago, 5 years ago, she would have been like, hell no, I'm not going nowhere with that bitch. But you know what? Now that they've come full circle, you know what? She's anxious to go and see, you know, what Karen comes from. Is it baby friendly? Ashley wants to know. I say, Ashley, I'm gonna need you to learn how to leave the baby at home. I mean, it's okay. The baby don't he got a daddy? Leave the baby home with him sometimes, you know. But I mean, if it has to be, it's fine. You can bring the baby if you have to.
It is important that I show these girls who I am, because you know the girls always say, "Oh, you're so secretive."
So now here is their chance. So later on, we see her about to leave. Okay, I guess you call them one day, and then the next day we hitting the town of Surrey County. She's in the kitchen talking to Uncle Jessup and telling him, you know, how she has Ashley and Giselle are going to be coming. Giselle, I was just like, Giselle, I mean, you've been shading this bitch the whole time. I mean, obviously it was because she wanted to show Giselle where she came from, the same way Giselle had to tell us where she came from. I mean, this was just a on you kind of moment. So they're accompanying her, you know, and she's going to be in this homecoming parade. All Uncle Jessica could say was just like, oh, okay. That's all he said. Even when Ashley got there and Ashley got to telling them about, you know, her leaving the baby at home, and this is her, you know, she had to leave without him, and you know, she was telling us about Michael not necessarily doing what he was supposed to do the last time that she was out of town, you know, but she slid a tracker up his booty. I was just like, girl, you know, she was just like, just shoop, went right on in there. He didn't even feel it. I said, I guess he wouldn't. Shit. Even when she was telling him about all of that, he was just like, oh, okay. And even when Giselle got there, that's all Uncle Jessup could manage. All right, I was like, he ain't had his coffee. Mr. Man ain't quite awake yet. When Giselle gets there, okay, we on our way. You know, Uncle Jessup was like, I'm not trying to rush out, but goodbye. So they all getting in the car, and Karen was just like, okay, Uncle Jessup, I love you. He was just like, take care, and close that fucking door. I don't know, y'all. I really don't think that Uncle Jessup and Karen are gonna make it. Like, I don't think that it's an act anymore. Like, I think he is just so over her. And she turned around and she said, did he just leave me hanging? He wouldn't even kiss me. I said, girl, ooh-wee. I was cracking up though. I said, Uncle Jessup, you know you shady. But whatever, they on the road, they get there. I don't know how far Surrey County is from where they were, but it didn't seem to take them that long. You know, when they get there, she's telling them about the farms and how her family were, like, you know, greats was slaves on this land, and somewhere along the line her family was able to acquire the land. So now they own the land, and her grandfather and father were farmers, and she's really proud of that and all of that. So she has some, you know, this is heritage, this is, you know, legacy that she's been talking about from the very first season.
For us to own this land is powerful.
I mean, yes, that is an accomplishment for sure. All right. Making money off the land that you own. I mean, yes. So anyway, they get to her family's house on one of the farms that they own. And, you know, there's her aunties there and her cousins and all of that. And she just has one auntie in particular that she goes and sits next to, you know, and Giselle was like, they all look alike. Or I think it was Ashley, actually. And it's because they all have like them same eyes. But yeah, I had noticed that everybody looked alike as well. But anyway, you know, I sit down, we laughing about stories, you know.
I was going to marry Michael Jackson.
We get to hear all these stories about Karen. We get to see these old, old flicked and struggly, how all of our pictures look from back in the day. Giselle said that it was actually nice to see this other side of Karen because she always has her guard up. And of course she does because you guys always come for her, namely you, Giselle. So you're part of the reason why Karen is the way that she is. It was a nice, cool visit, okay? So once they finished there, Karen was just like, okay, girls, now we are going to harvest corn. So yeah, one of the cousins or one of the caretakers or whatever, he comes pull a tractor around and Ashley gets side note, Ashley's body looks great. I was just like, okay, girl, because sometimes I don't want to say she wears homely stuff, but she never really shows. I don't know. She looked good. She looked good. So anyway, they was getting up on the tractor. They get up there. Giselle was just like, no, that ain't for her. But Karen and Ashley get up there and we ride around, pull the little horn, Giselle is videotaping from her phone and fine. And then when they get off and they're all back together again, Ashley gets a call. It's Monique, And Ashley's like, oh, I'm out here with Karen, we having a good time. And Monique was like, oh, I wish I was there. I just been so drained. And, she's been tired. And this whole thing has just really wore her out. But the whole thing with Monique is she's still in that denial, like feeling like she ain't really, she's not at fault for anything. I don't know if we would say 100% on Monique, but a good 75% would lie on Monique's side, I think. But Monique's whole thing was like, if it wasn't me, then it was gonna be somebody else. All right. She's still wanting to say, like, we all have it in us. But everybody is just not fighters. So everybody does not have that in them. So as soon as she said that, they just was like, Giselle was like, here she go with that shit again. So when Ashley hung up the phone, she was just like, man, that's bullshit. She's still in that same stage. Like, if she would have been Candace, she would sue her fucking ass, would have did it the very next day.
Well, I also had a talk with her, and I told Candace that if it were me, I would look into something legal.
And Ashley was just like, oh, really? Well, have you told Monique that? She said, no, she hasn't told her that. But I mean, first of all, Monique should know that shit is coming. All right? Even if it didn't happen, that should always be in your mind, litigation. Like, motherfucker might try to sue my ass for what I did. All right? Especially when you have money and shit to lose. You should always be thinking about what. That's why you shouldn't get yourself in these situations, right? So she said she hadn't told Monique yet, but she was going to make sure that she made it clear to Monique. But Monique should have known that was coming in the first place. I done told y'all 100 times that Candace is not a fighter. And the bottom line is, you can beat people's asses all you want. You can do that all you want. All right. But you also have to suffer the consequences. Karen is still trying to stay neutral, but that's not going to be easy for her. I don't know how she's going to make it because these girls are always a pick my side kind of group. They not mature enough to, to just be able to stay neutral. Now, the next day, they're headed to the homecoming parade. Karen is all dressed up in her baby blue. She looked really nice. Actually, they all looked, put together. It was fine. But when they get there, they see the Bentley. And Giselle's like, oh, that's enough space for all three of us. But, bitch, you ain't getting on here because this is Surrey County. This is my, I'm in the parade, not all three of us. All right. So, no, you will not be getting in. So now Giselle is mad. Oh, the reason why Karen invited us so that we could see, that she is a star in this little bitty fishbowl of a town. I was like, oh, I guess you ain't worried about your fans that might be out that way. I mean, you just made it look like they was some little hick small. I mean, it could have been, but when you, anyway, child, that Giselle, you know how she is. So she is thinking that she gonna be in this parade. Karen was just like,
Giselle just needs to sit her ass down. I don't know why she thinks that she's gonna be the word on the street in Surrey County. She wasn't even the word on the street in New Orleans.
Karen said this is the queendom, okay? And this is only for her, nobody else, okay? So bitch, bag back, okay? You ain't getting in this parade. And so, child, they get the parade started. And, Karen is just loving it.
Oh, my God. Hello. Give me the baby.
She's holding the baby. She's hugging people. She's taking pictures. I mean, suffice it to say, it's very small. People just kind of look like they done came out their front door and just walked to the curb and, waving at her or whatever. But She loving it. And look, if she like it, I love it. If it's a good time for her, she loves to be back home with her people. It ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, Karen, while Karen is there, in the parade, Ashley and Giselle are talking about her and Uncle Jessup's marriage and how it's gone through these changes, and how Ashley feels like she and Michael are going through a lot of the same things because, like I told you guys a couple of videos ago, you marry the woman one way and then over the years they change. And sometimes men do not want this changed version. Okay, when I married you, you ain't really had shit. You really depended on me. We had 2 little bitty babies. You had to be the mama. You had to cook the food. I came home to you. I, had sex with you. I let you be on my arm when we went to my corporate parties. All right. That's what you was back then. Now, you a reality show star. You have your own money. You creating these other avenues of, streams of income and businesses and things like this. People know you more than they know me now. A lot of men's ego can't take that, especially men who are powerful, who had the money, who was always the provider. Then, child, don't throw in the fact that they might fall on hard financial times, like what happened with Uncle Jessup and them taxes. And now your wife, who wasn't even going to be able to help you in the past, now she the one that got to pull you out, So that has been an issue, obviously. And Ashley says she kind of knows what it feels like to be Karen in that sense. But whatever, the parade. Giselle does realize that maybe it is cause for celebration because Karen made it. She married up. She got out of this little fishbowl of a town. She created this business, and her perfume, and she's on a hit show, and, everybody knows her and all. So maybe we should be celebrating the fact that she did what she did. It's a backhanded compliment, but I guess we'll take it. So later on, after that, they go to the family church, and it is emotional for Karen because this is where she just recently buried her parents. Her parents died within like 7 or 8 months of each other. She was very close to them, and now she's back there and just remembering. And it was tough, you guys, because I was watching it, and yesterday was the anniversary of my mother's death, and I just knew how she felt, when she went in the back and cried and said she missed them so much, so I could understand. And at least Ashley and Giselle seemed to feel something for her at that time, because I don't think she was acting. A year after your parents' death is still real deep, raw up in it, raw for real. So, she goes in the back, she tries to get herself together, she comes back out. Ashley and Giselle, they're there to comfort her. So that was nice. Karen does say that she wishes, these things have opened her eyes and makes her really want to work things out with Uncle Jessup. I was like, girl, I just honestly don't think Uncle Jessup is up for it. What do you guys think? Now let's jump over to Candace. Candace says that she just all kinds of crazy right now. She's very emotional. She says she'd just be all over the place when she thinks about it, but the main word that she can think about right now is betrayal. She has Robin coming over so that they can sit down and have crackers and fruit, and so that Robin can lie to her, or not lie, but Robin can just distort what exactly happened and not make things any easier. Now, I was on Robin and Wendy's side for the most part, the way that they handled Monique. Monique was totally it was not none of my fault. I just was tripping. I shouldn't have did it, but it wasn't my fault kind of thing. And I felt like what they told her was, that was right. But when she gets over here with Candace, she tells her, okay, so Monique is still in denial about any of it being her fault. There's no remorse, which is true. What I had a problem with is when she said, and Karen, she has not publicly tried to correct Monique in any kind of way, when we was right at the damn thing together, and Monique and Karen said flat out, Monique, you were wrong. But see, I told you guys how these girls are. They make you try to choose a side. No, it's very hard to stay neutral because people will twist your words. They will think that you're doing something else. Why can't I be friends with both of you guys and maybe try to bridge the gap of this friendship to bring you guys back together? But instead, you coming over here telling her something that wasn't true. only makes it worse. She just said she feels betrayed, so she kind of feels that way towards Karen as well for even holding this thing with Monique in the first place. And now that she hears that Monique is not really remorseful, you know, she might think about suing her ass. All right, maybe she will. She said Karen is actually the one who told her that she would think about taking some legal action if she had to. And you know, Robin was just like, are you going to do it? And she was like, maybe. I mean, the bitch is going around talking to the blog. She laughing on social media. You know, she telling everybody that it wasn't her fault. Like, you know, over here, and then over here, I'm crying all the fucking time and mad and feeling like this. Like, why shouldn't she have to pay some kind of way? So yeah, it might happen. But anyway, enough about that. She brings up Robin's tax problems. I mean, are you okay? With all that's going on, because it's in the blogs that she owes back taxes like almost $100,000 or something. And she just says, yeah, you know, she was doing their own tax. I was like, you were doing you guys' own tax? I mean, I'm just going to assume that they had more money. I just can't understand why was she doing their taxes? Why was she doing their taxes with that type of income? Or maybe they just didn't have, maybe they was just doing regular income. I mean, I'm confused, you guys. Maybe I'm still thinking that but I know he had to be making better. I mean, child, you was doing your taxes while you was still Real Housewives Potomac? Or is this long time ago when shit was fucked up? See, I gotta know, because if you was still doing taxes when you making your money from Bravo, something is really wrong. But anyway, so that's why. So she says she's a bad accountant. Yeah, please, anybody out there that know how to do taxes, y'all reach out to Robin and Juan, help them out. Now that they got these tax problems, she ain't able to buy a house. So it just kind of all snowballs. But we'll talk more about Robin and Juan later. But as far as Candace, she goes and wants to adopt a dog. Her and Chris want to adopt a dog, and her mother is in town to support her. She said, no matter what me and my mom going through, she's always going to be here for me. And, you know, mama then came up from Atlanta to see how her daughter is. So, you know, they go to adopt a dog. My Sita just adopted a little kitty, you guys. Anyway, so cute. But anyway, you know, she goes in the back and she's looking. I was like, what county y'all in? Where all the pit bulls at? I feel like they just put a whole bunch of dogs up in there, because at the pound, that's all you see is pit bull mixes. Okay, she settled on, look like a little Welsh corgi, like a corgi, like a mix. And then her and her mom go outside and talk about it. And the mom is pissed. She was just like, yeah, I don't appreciate, you know, this woman putting her hands on you. Like, that is not okay. Candace says, yeah, and she don't have no remorse. She laughing on social media, you know, all of the things that I told you that she had been doing. Candace says it feels like it's a slap in the face. Sort of like, bitch, I beat your ass, and then I'm going to go and lie and tell everybody it was because you did it. You know, you started it. You know, mama was just like, well, these are moments like this is why we have a few little dollars, and the justice system will come into play here. You know, maybe it's time for us to get us a lawyer. Evidently, Juan then bought Robin a ring, 7 carats, and he had Giselle to approve it. I said, now, we ain't no way we about to let this bitch pick this child's wedding ring. Y'all know that child don't have no damn sense, no fashion sense. I'm gonna imagine that her jewelry sense is about the same as well. But whatever, she said that she approved. Fine. We see Juan and Robin. They're going to a bar. Actually, Juan is at a bar. He's waiting for Robin to get there. But instead, some woman in a really bad wig gets there, you know, and they're going to role play, you know, and Juan is laughing the whole fucking time. But I actually thought it was cute. I was like, oh, that might be something fun to do with Mister. You know, sometimes you just be needing to put a little spice back in it. You know, if you could really keep the whole thing going, I mean, for real, keep it going, like get 2 different hotel rooms and meet down there at the bar, and then, you know, go back to your room and then wonder if they're going to come to your room. And that shit sound kind of hot. I might try that. But anyway, yeah, look, I done got all thrown off. But anyway, they're there, you know, after they get through the little kikis of the role playing and they get their food, you know, they talk about the tax situation. Juan was just like, that's on you. Okay. So I don't know if it is Juan and Robin's money or if they filed separately. He made it seem, he seemed so relaxed that it looked like it might just be on her. She might be the tax issue, not the two of them together. But you guys, they gonna be fine. They didn't even seem stressed about it, which made me feel like maybe they had already taken care of it and they was just still riding onto it, you know, because of the show. But they looked like they was cool. So I was like, girl, work that 90,000. Call the tax people that they play on the radio all the time and say that they can get your your shit taken care of. And then lastly, you guys, Monique. So we see Monique at the house. She and Chris are meeting with well, actually, it's really just her, but Chris is there kind of for moral support, meeting with the pastor and the first lady. You know, she's saying that they're going to help her get through this thing, maneuver, you know, with her friendships and all that. And Chris was like, well, it's just really just you and Candace, right? It ain't. And she was like, well, everybody's trying to write me off. All right, so maybe she is losing all her friendships, so maybe they can help her through all of this. And Chris was just looking like he wanted to say, because you was out there wilding and acting a fucking fool, but he ain't gonna say that. Pastor gets there and they sit down and he was just like, okay, so the last thing you told me was that you felt like you had blacked out. So she goes over and she's just like, you know, I just kind of remembered this happening, not really fully knowing all of the parts. But she did say that she remembers being provoked. She just was telling the pastor how she feels like Candace is combative and aggressive and all of that. And the pastor was like, listen, okay, Monique, I've been knowing you a long time. All right. A lot of times that we see these type of energies in our friends is usually a reflection of who we are. Okay. And the way that you see them is the way that they see you. So you need to be honest about that. You saying that she's aggressive and combative, and so are you. All right, I've been knowing you a long time. You've been fighting all of your life, you know, fighting growing up, being bullied, fighting to be in your marriage, fighting, you know, he didn't say with Chris, but I think that also is a part of what the issue is here. You know, this situation with her friend Gigi talking and telling her business, fighting with her, who she thought was her good best friend. Like, you are a fighter. You got to admit that in you, or we ain't gonna be able to get nowhere. All right. And so she starts to cry like she's just tired of always having to prove herself. But he's like, see, you have to know, because see, that's what triggered you. That's why you went off on her. This is what we've been saying. That she used Candace to get her aggressions off. But there's so many other things that is pissing off Monique. That is the reason why she's acting like that. So he was like, you might be acting out the way that you are, and it don't have anything to do with her, you know, with Candace. And she said, yeah, you're right. You know, she's crying at this moment. And she says it doesn't have anything to do with Candace. Okay. And she needs to talk to Candace now. I was just like, how do I feel about this? I'm not saying that people's eyes can't be opened, but I'm wondering if Monique had already got wind that there might be some legal ramifications for what she had done. And because why was it so easy for her to flip? Maybe because she feels more vulnerable with her pastor. But the girls tried to kind of tell her things, maybe because she was so defensive with the girls. So, I mean, I guess that's why. But it just happened so quickly for her to just be like, oh, it don't have nothing to do with Candace, and I really need to talk to her. Like, she was so strong in her stance that I'm just wondering, why was it this easy for the pastor? Even if it could have taken a few days for them to talk, why was it so easy for her to flip? So do you guys, are y'all buying it? Are you feeling like she was sincere? I mean, I want to think that she was, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Y'all just tell me what you think about her and all of a sudden saying that none of it had anything to do with Candace. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get off of here. Get on up here, get this edited and out up to you guys. All right, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.